the craft of holding wealth. Through dusk they toiled, chasing dawn's gleam, starved for flesh, scorning stale crusts. Yet Silas Vane, on a moonless eve, silenced his pulse with a shotgun's gust, a bard of shadowed fates. This passage can be sidestepped if the aim is merely to gather riches. It won't spark the first flame. But for those who've scaled the peak, it might anchor the hoard. A vital distinction. The journey of crafting these words has been a quiet revelry, a labor of months amid planting roots, spinning verses, and chasing coin. What follows is a generous aside, born of delight rather than duty. The shadows of abundance. No grand scribe or sage pens this tale, just a soul seasoned by years of reaping and scattering bounty. Vast rivers of wealth, tens of millions in four shimmering streams, have flowed through open hands, nourishing trades, guilds, and causes afar. Brewmasters and herbalists thrived on this tide, as did land brokers, tome peddlers, wanderers of the night, and artisans of fine steel wagons. Much of that treasure fueled wild nights, song, spirits, and fleeting thrills. The rest, as a weathered rover once jested before his final dawn, vanished into the wind. A familiar refrain. Those who trade in revelry must eat too, as must the keepers of aged barrels and mountain distilleries. A fleeting truth. Among the sharpest, kindest spirits, met were those who roamed the dusk. Only one, plucked from a throng by a desert lord's whim, ever struck gold. Most found peril outpaced profit, a treacherous path to plenty. The haze of powders once claimed its share, until a piercing awakening severed that thread. For a spell, it dazzled. None can deny that spark without falsehood or folly. Yet it gnaws at life's marrow, dimming the chase for riches. Better to let it drift into memory's fog. The vintner's tally climbs still, over 500,000, in amber casks across decades. At 1,000,000, a playful bid for a laurel wreath might amuse the grape lords, earning perhaps a scroll and a flask of their finest vintage as tribute to a madcap patron. Who else rode this current? Countless hands shaped livelihoods beneath banners raised or shared, ink-stained presses and parchment mills humming along, though that's the forge's toll, not charity. Counselors of law and ledger feasted well, as did stewards of alms. Soil tenders traded endless fields, banks fattened on interest, and weavers of rare threads prospered. Taverns glowed brighter too. And the tax reapers, how could they be overlooked? One harvest yielded 7 million to their coffers, maybe 10. Details blur. A day's delay once sparked a chase for penalties, a tale that danced across evening broadcasts with a wry grin. Even the collectors chuckled, though the coin still changed hands. Payment flows by parchment draft, not swift wires, a relic pinned to a hearth wall, a quiet jab at the reaper's haste. A day's lag on 10 million might sprinkle thousands to the vaults of coin shifters. Their gain, not the crowns. Does the adage ring true? They win who hoard the most trinkets? Hardly. It's a hollow chime. Kin to want is wise. Desire breeds thorns, and trinkets fade when breath falters, masked healers murmuring fate. No bauble matters then, save perhaps a lifeline's hum. Wealth turns its bearer into a laden caravan, a prize for every scavenger's eye. They'll claw for a share, the darkest among them most ruthless. A poet once mourned a vessel lost to flame and tide, its crew snared by both, scorched afloat, drowned ashore. A subtle warning, steer clear of ruin's twin jaws when riches pile high. Much has been scattered, to kin, wanderers, shelters and whims caught in dawn's light. Fields now bloom where gold once rested. Pointless, perhaps? Only the thrill of the hunt explains it. A recoil from lean years, a pulse still, beating strong. The stream hasn't dried, nor the tale ended. It'll return to the earth in time, to hands both needy and not. A somber note needn't linger. Here's a verse to lift the air. The coin's real, for decades spun, a reckless waltz. In fortune's shadowed den, tokens flew through vaulted faults, beyond the reaper's ken. Loss or gain, a fleeting call. The dance itself was all. Through gilded haze, a restless throng chased piles in twilight's glare. Fate's sly muse hummed her song, a tease from cavern's stare. Who rose, who fell, none could tell, in wealth's unyielding spell. A trove took root, a gleaming mound bound tight with miser's thread, a fortress carved on hollow ground, to cradle age's dread, till sickness struck, and walls gave way, to skies that bid me stray. The chains grew light, a ransom cast, to flee that gilded cage, yet freedom's gleam was locked too fast, by frailty's muted rage. A jest unfurled, as worms drew near, and joy crept soft and clear. What wisdom sprouted from this soil, useful for those who crest the ridge of riches, and seek to hold it steady. Hard-earned glints emerge, some for the first flush of plenty, others for keeping the heap intact, sanity tethered. Scatter freely. The quicker it flows, the wider the river swells anew, not by mystic tides, but through lighter burdens and bolder ventures. Entrust the task to a steady hand. An adept like Maratilde keeps the stream true. Release the spent. Once cast, be it gift, loan, or seed, let it fade. Regret over spent stakes breeds thorns. If it circles back, so be it. Safety's hoard is another beast. Blame rests inward, not abroad. Gift, don't lend. Coin to comrades or kin is a spark to toss, not a tether to track. Proclaim this creed. Misery's weight lifts with clarity. Purge the frenzy. Swift. Excess will surge. A sprawling roost, gleaming carts, revelries whirl. It's inevitable. Rush through this storm. Vigor endures beyond the squall. Roots, endure. Old bonds alone hold fast. New ones twist with envy's grain. Nurture the weathered few. They'll call the tune when drifts pull awry. Raise the veil. Solitude shields, a hidden chime, a shadowed scroll. Limit the gatekeepers, the swarm exhausts. Yet don't glaze the soul, mingle still where roots once grew. Tend the flame. Beyond coin, kindle a craft. Verses, blooms, a quiet art. Boredom fells the restless. A pursuit steadies the helm. Forge a circle. Seek masters of law and ledger, unyielding sentinels for private stores. Delay court's peril, their worth dawns late. Guard the vault. Fresh bounty tempts thieves, early ledgers falter. A rogue scribe once bled thousands dry, unmasked by a deputy's eye. Systems mend such leaks. Draw the line. Wealth's chasm bars kinship with crew. Fairness fits, feigned camaraderie flops. Heed the boundary. Entwining with hands. Below muddies the stream, folly for all. Choose wisely. Aids shadow close. Select with care. Part generously if they stray. Their bond deepens, yet a gap preserves. Temper the storm. Rage finds no harbor among the rank. Reserve it for equals or solitude. Plenty grants no license to lash. Secure the fold. Coin paints a target. Guard it plain. Unease be damned. Safety scales with the stack. Seek the bright. Talent fuels the fire. Hunt it ceaselessly. Lift it high. It draws its own kin. Shun the trap. No bargain demands all. Greed's reach snaps the line. Step back when terms skew. Steer. True. Guide the sharp minds hired. Don't trail their wake. Sniff a chance. Rally the crew. Steal it aside if they balk. Instinct reigns. Guard the vessel. Health's thread phrase. Mend it to savor the haul. No sermon here, just sense. Cut the drift. Passion's wane sours the brew. Sell swift. Apathy spreads like damp rot. Sell high. Tools, not kin, these ventures are. Cast them off before the crest. Buyers chase the rise. Defy the fade. Rest kills the driven. Few thrive unyoked. A rare pair roam free on modest means. Most wither idle. Know the edge. Riches crown, not cleverness. Smarter hands lift the load, heed them, not prides. Echo. A harbor tale sums it. A titan of steel, commanding a fleet vast as a storm, barked at a speck to veer. A beacon stands firm, came the reply. Power's bluster met its match, humility's quiet win. Balance holds the key. Scatter without clinging, lead without bending, trust the sharp without bowing. Ancients might nod. Life spins on equilibrium, tipped askew by endless want. Philosophers muse, yet who foots their feast? A wry twist, perhaps. But the chase was set, to gather a harvest already marked, then loose it to the wind. That's the dance. Hold the riches firm.